Hey everybody, it's Alexis with Create Your Future. I am back with a brand new video. Happy Monday. Thank you for being here. And as always, I have a success story. I'm talking about manifesting relationship goals. And also today I am going to touch upon feminine and masculine energy and how it applies to whatever you're manifesting. That's been requested in multiple videos. So I'm going to use this client success story as an example to illustrate my perspective on that, and also how we apply it to manifesting, because it seems to be that it causes controversy because of the masculine, feminine, male, female, which has nothing to do with it. Okay. So also, you guys, like, let's intend right now, let's just focus for a moment together that as you're watching this, that it is creating a breakthrough for you, that you are starting the week off on a beautiful note. It is getting you back in charge of what you're thinking, what you're creating, how much you're loving yourself, and how much you're loving your reality, or liking your reality, accepting your reality, wherever you're at in your journey. Or if you're having a difficult time and you're moving through circumstances that are unfavorable, let's allow them to move through you, not react to them. And let's get on track today. Okay. I want that for you. I want that for everyone. And let's create some amazing things this week. Okay. So like also the links to booking one-on-one coaching, everything with me is in the box below, and hypnosis, recordings, all that stuff, and all my courses are in the box below. And people have been writing in so many success stories about my hypnosis recordings and about the courses and about how they help them stay on track, and also about how the hypnosis recordings help them really quell anxiety, worry, and fear, which I'm also going to talk about in this video. Okay, so like this is a hodgepodge video that will make sense and will bring everything together. Okay, so all right, now for the success story today that I'm going to talk about is a client of mine who, you guys, did want to manifest a feminine or a pursuit by her specific person. She wanted to be the person in the relationship who was pursued, who was loved, who was adored, who was chosen, where he was doing a lot of things for her. And that was the goal. Okay. So that was the thing that she had said in the first session. And then I kind of tailored it down, of course, to her mental diet. What is she thinking? And then how do we create the thoughts that create that experience in the 3D reality, which comes down to who are you being? Who are they being? And how is the relationship being? Okay, so this success story, that is what the client came to me with. And then, so therefore I'm answering the questions that have been in the videos about what is this masculine, feminine? What's my perspective as a coach? I've been asked that a lot. And how do I view it? So I first of all want to shed light on what is masculine, what is feminine energy, and say that if you are versed in this school of thought, this will not be new information. If it is new information, then amazing. Okay. First of all, we all have masculine and feminine energies within you. Everything that you see is a mixture of masculine and feminine energy. Now, not everything, like not the objects that we see, but even vegetables and fruits have a masculine and feminine polarity energy within them, because they were conceived, they were created, they were grown, and they were born. Okay. So now, what does this mean for us who are manifesting relationships? And what does it boil down to if you want to be pursued and chased? First of all, you want to understand that you as a being have masculine and feminine energies also within you. The masculine mind deals with problem solving, thinking, figuring out solutions, taking action. The feminine energy, or the yin energy. So I'm actually going to talk about this from an Eastern perspective, because that's actually where the masculine, feminine energies were first in creation, and also where Neville Goddard learned his information that we bring to manifesting. So it will all come together in a beautiful hybrid of information. Okay. So in any event, the masculine mind is action, thinking, doing. The feminine perspective, the yin, is receiving, allowing, being. More encapsulated, where the masculine energy is more out here, the feminine energy is more internalized. The feminine energy is thought to be more cold-ish, and the masculine is more hot, heavy, moving forward. So you can see that if you have been creating with your specific person, that you're the one doing then they really aren't the ones doing for you. Like, the thing about relationships is that if you want an experience of someone doing things for you, we have to reprogram the mind and we have to think new thoughts. So that's where the traditional masculine, feminine, and all this gets kind of hodgepodge for relationship coaching, because we need to think new thoughts to reprogram the mind to feel differently, but we need to think new thoughts if you're wanting to be more feminine, of allowing, receptivity, being loved, being adored. It's not thinking and overthinking thoughts and then thinking, oh, well, my mind is the masculine energy, so therefore I'm not going to think thoughts. No, right? No. We always want to use your mind to your advantage and to be thinking three aspects. Who am I? Who are they? Who is the relationship? Okay. So we want to be thinking always of those three areas: affirming for things differently, seeing things differently, feeling differently, and then therefore creating a different perspective in your outer reality. Because if you're the one who does the chasing, you're doing the pursuing, you're going after the person, when we do this with someone and ask them a bunch of questions, overtly pursue them in our 3D reality, then generally speaking, this is you, this is them, it does this, right? If you have this experience or you felt this, you know that that's what happens, right? And that's where the energetic difference needs to be in place in your reality, where we come home to self, come grounded to the self, come into a sense of safety, security, and stability. Because most likely, if you're chasing someone, you do not feel safe to love, safe to be loved. You don't feel secure within yourself, and you're not feeling a sense of security within you, okay? And you probably had that programming, that replay in the mind for years and years and years. So that's where you really want to identify, who are you in the situation. Now, the other pitfall, the other downfall with this is that, generally speaking, if you identify they're not pursuing me, they're not, and you're doing some sort of, idea, they're pursuing me, they're choosing me, we need to make sure that we change the model of relationships within, so that therefore you are now deciding and thinking and feeling, I am the one who is always loved. I am the one who is adored. I love myself so much. And coming back to a sense and a feeling and a foundation of lovability, safety, and security, and then therefore changing it with your specific person. What I will say, you guys, is this. People get these affirmations from YouTube, right? The ones I just said or something similar, because they're not really tailoring their mental diet and what they need to be thinking to themselves. And then the funny thing I've noticed is this: the person will be doing things, but they still will not have changed their inner framework, their inner model. And I will say, okay, but he is pursuing you. He is doing something. And then she will say, no, he's not. It's not enough. Okay. So isn't that interesting? Until you change you, until you change your major concepts of you, your concept of self and love, your major programming, foundational belief systems, core concepts, then you're not even going to see it when they're chasing and pursuing. You're going to see what they're not doing. If you're my one-on-one clients, then you know that I'm often telling you, like, okay, we need to stop looking at the lack, stop looking at what they're not doing, focus on what they are doing. This is obviously if your person is in the reality. Okay, I have other videos about from no contact to contact, etc. But like, either way, you guys, you want to see what the person is doing. Where your focus goes is what you create more of. Okay. So what we also don't want to be doing is thinking like, I am just, I'm thinking these thoughts and therefore I'm not engaging in my reality and I'm waiting for the person to do everything for me. I expect them to come back totally changed, totally conformed, totally, etc., etc. It doesn't usually work out that way. For whatever reason, most people that I speak to who are manifesting for a specific person, the person comes through with like a bunch of things that you like, a bunch of things that you don't like. And then therefore we need to not give attention to what they're doing, what they're not doing, and stay centered, stay stable with what you want. Okay. The other thing I want to point out too is, what is your inner conversation with you about you? This is not saying what's your inner conversation that you're enacting with your SP, but what is your inner conversation with you, about lovability? And these are sneaky thoughts that we think, right? And instead of whatever you're thinking with the inner conversation of you, about love, we want to be affirming, you are so loved. Like if it was me, Alexis, you are so loved. You are so amazing. And you have all the things. You are the perfect person. You are the perfect partner. You are doing a great job. You are just like so loved for who you are all the time. You are No matter what you do, you're figuring this out. You're showing up, doing a great job. And I'm so proud of you. Okay. So you guys, your thoughts create all of it is the thing. So if you're wanting to manifest where you have more of a emotional, deep connection with your person, you want to identify, who am I naturally being within the dynamic? Who do I naturally want to be? Do I want to be the one who is receiving more, allowing more is coming to me, the love is coming to me, it's all happening. We're in this wonderful microcosm, which is a macrocosm because it's your reality. You want to be thinking, what am I really thinking? Right? Am I, just thinking they're chasing me, they're pursuing me, they're totally in love with me, and then looking for it, and then they're not doing it, and then the lack of it, and then that. We need none of that, right? The person. Now, if you go again for the yin is the feminine, the yang or the yang is the masculine in terms of energetic differences. The yang takes action, the yin receives, right? Think to yourself, if I'm the feminine component, if this is what you want, what would I be thinking? If I'm the yang, right? If I am this component, what would I be thinking? Who would I be being? Because the thing is this, you guys, this is just information to show you how you get to create your reality. It's information to shed light on, oh, this is really what I want, right? This is really who I want to be. This is how I want to feel. This is how I want to be showing up in my reality, right? That's where we can use the energetic differences to dictate the mental diet and what you're thinking, like I had this client do. Okay, so let me get to the success story. Dear Alexis, thank you so much for your insight, your coaching, your laughs, and also holding my hand while I was crying multiple times during our sessions over just about a couple short months. Wow, I can't believe that it actually all happened and it came together. After a huge breakthrough that we had during our session, as you know, my specific person had threatened that he was moving out, he was leaving, he was wondering and questioning about the relationship, and that he had to go, and she put in quotations, take space. So instead of reacting and trying to convince him and telling him what to do and having a overt conversation about it, I decided to go within to my feminine self, my feminine energy, and I did not react. Instead, I decided from within that I was holding on to the reality that I am creating, and that there was nothing to react to, that he is mine, I am his, he is mine, I am his, we are working through this, and that this is making us stronger, this is making us grow closer. I can't tell you what a breakthrough it is for me to not react and not take action from a sense of a lack of safety, a lack of worry, and fear. I realize now that for so many years in my I was feeling scared, worried, and afraid. And then from that place, I was thinking thoughts, taking action, and being a totally different version of myself. It is so fun now to come home to myself, to be with myself, to take care of myself, and to tell myself all of the time how much I am loved and adored. Also, you shedding light on the inner conversation piece and how I can create an inner conversation with me, about me, really helped. I want everyone to know that they can have their specific person and that they can create exactly what they want in their reality. XO, thank you so much. See you in our next session. And by then he will be fully moved back in and he will be proposing to me. Smiley face. Okay. So yeah. So the thing is this, is that if you're, what generally happens that I've seen with people is that we have an identification of, this is what I want in my reality. I'm just going for stereotypical things I have heard. I want him to cherish me. I want him to choose me. I want him to love me. I want to feel so adored. Okay. That's where the person is going. Client A, right? And then something happens with the person, and then they go into worry, fear, scarcity, lack within themselves. And then that causes them to be the version that is chasing and pursuing, hunting the person down. Now, why that whole thing's happens, the anxiety, worry, and fear, chasing the person, even though you want to be loved and adored and feeling it just work, just work and just stay on board, is because of other programming, right? This whole manifesting thing and recreating your person and recreating your relationship is really redefining and rethinking, who am I within the relationship and who do I want to be? Choosing who you are, which is probably the opposite of how you've always been. Most people I also speak to come from some childhood situation, a childhood thing where love wasn't consistent, and their perception, their ideas about love, relationship, marriage family, love staying, love being consistent, all these things. That way, way, way long ago, the mind decided to think other thoughts about love. So then here you come to being an adult, wanting to manifest a relationship, working through it. And then we're having to really reprogram and really think differently. Okay. So that's why this is a challenge for a lot of people, because you're coming up against things you've never looked at, never seen, never even noticed about yourself that you thought were so there. Your programming seems so real because you guys, your mind is built upon sameness. Your mind will take you back to where it feels familiar, where it feels a sense of familiarity. Your subconscious is built upon this feels familiar, so I'm going to take you here. This does not feel familiar, so I don't know how to stay here. We don't know how to stay in the thoughts, the consistency, persistency of what you're thinking until you just go through the fire, right? So that's why we need to trick the mind and be thinking new thoughts that are of what you want, not of someone else's scenario of what they're wanting, but of what you want, persisting in that dynamic within. Because now let's bring it all home, right? Your reality is an illusion that is created by you within you. You have a dream within you in your mind of your feelings, thoughts, beliefs, assumptions that then projects itself out to your reality. So like, how can we use all this to our advantage, right? How can we use masculine, feminine energies to get what we want, to understand who we want to be? It's identifying and seeing that's really what I want. That's who I want to be. Now, if that's who I want to be, the one who is receptive, the one who is feeling loved, then that's who I am deciding I am in the new relationship dynamic, in the new situation, and with my specific person or whatever I'm manifesting. That's who I get to be, right? That's who I get to be. Now, the person who is loved, who is adored, who is this, you really got to watch yourself for how much are you internally and or mechanically criticizing your person, looking at what they're not doing, looking at the lack, thinking of the negative, thinking of what you don't have, thinking of negative Nancy thoughts. Negative Nancy. Did I say that right? Please excuse me if your name is Nancy. It's just an idiom. That's the right phrase. Okay. So we need to be in the place of this is happening. I am creating this. I'm reacting less and less. I am safe and secure within myself. I know that I'm doing this. This is my experience. This is my energetic reality. I am creating exactly what I want. This is what I want. This is who I am. And really make peace with it. If you are someone who has gone after what you want, told somebody what to do, pursued them, chased them, tried to convince them, you want to decide, you guys, that you're just not going to do that anymore. Like, let him or let her kind of fall away. Now, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. You just want to decide, what am I doing here? How am I acting in my 3D? How can I act and how can I be interacting in my experience that serves what I'm creating, that serves my manifesting, that serves who I want to be? Okay. Now, the core concepts of most of us are a lack, a feeling of lack in love, a feeling that it's not going to happen. We have all these things that we bring to our relationships, and we're required to move through them, think of them differently, react less, right? In terms of not chasing, pursuing, and telling someone, but still interacting in your reality. That's my total go-to answer about the whole thing. Interacting in your reality differently, being responsive, not reactive, having a conversation, speaking from your authenticity, your true feeling about something, not the anxious, worry, fear mind. Coming into contact with, what do I really feel about this? I'm communicating this. Okay. Okay. So in a roundabout way, I have answered the question in multiple videos. I've gone over mental diet, how to manifest, how to think about this differently, and how it really comes down to you. So as a reminder too, your reality comes down to what you're thinking, what you're believing. You are ground zero for the things that you're experiencing in your outer reality. So who are you being, you guys? Really decide this week, who am I being? How am I describing myself? How am I talking to myself? And then what is the inner conversation I'm having with me about me? That might be a huge game changer. Just noticing the thoughts that you have with you about you. Like if you do something, you make a mistake, how quick are you to tell yourself, oh, you're such a this, you're such a that, you're so this, you're so that. That's where you want to start understanding. No. Like, I am so loved. I am doing a great job at life. Everything is possible for me. The world is at my fingertips. I am manifesting beauty, abundance, connection, relationship, everlasting love, and a future with my person. Okay. All right. So that's my video. I will see you next week for my next video. And like I always say, go out this week, make things that are awesome, create and manifest amazing experiences wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, create beautiful days, really be in charge of how am I feeling? I'm taking care of myself. I'm putting myself first, and therefore everything is happening for me. Okay. All right, you guys, I love you and I'll see you soon. Bye.